Good morning, everyone. How is everyone this fine Monday morning? Boy, do we have a show for you today. You better buckle up, because there's going to be a whole lot of information coming. As everyone knows, we've got Loy Brunson coming on this morning to give us an update. Well, good morning, Alex. I was just telling everybody we've got Loy Brunson coming on to give us an update on his recent interactions with the Supreme Court and all. And I, for one, am excited to hear it.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, guys.
How goes it, sir?
Beautiful day here. Going to be 95 today.
Wow.
Looking out over a beach. No complaints.
Wow. Oh, look at Alex showing off the steak already. Man, that looks so scrumptious when you texted it over this weekend. Wow. Good morning, James.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this fine morning?
Well, I'm enjoying a little bit of cooler weather, just prepping for winter.
Just prepping, exactly. Yeah, it's supposed to be like 90-something here today. I know. Oh, hey, guys. So Loy's I spoke with him this morning. He's going to come on around 9:15. When we do bring him on, either you, Dave, or you, James, need to drop out and then come right back in so he's in the middle screen. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I'll drop out.
Another suggestion, up to you, but maybe you just click on Loy and give Loy the big box. Up to you. That saves having to drop out and come back, but totally up to you.
Well, I guess we could try it that way. I don't really know. Well, why don't we do the dropout anyway, and then I'll do the big box, and then if we wind up, because if you guys are talking, I want everybody to be able to see you guys too.
Sure.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, I think we got that part squared away and figured out. Now let's say some good mornings. Alex, are we live on the other channels?
I'm looking, and it appears to be matter of fact, sir. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, let's say some good mornings here. Gen X Holtz is here. Good morning, Gen X. Joy, good morning, Joy. Rick Sr., Chris Romano. Yes, we all had an amazing weekend. I hope you did too. Lee is here. Ego with Fireworks Monday. Exactly. Pop is here. And there she is, the sheriff. You're going to have your hands full, I think, today, Lee. Lisa Maria. Good morning to you as well. Teresa's here. Hi, Teresa and Wendy. And look at Kevin Kiesler, Cindy Hayden, 59, Scratch, 65. Scratch, where you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could make it. Leonard Little is here. Moreski Patriot is here. Good morning. Sassy Minnesota girl. Brian Squirrel is here. Patriot gal, Donna Fox, Mama Bear. Grand rising to you as well, Mama Bear. Let's see here. We've got Lee Daniel over on YouTube. Well, good morning, Lee. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump into indices with Alex.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. The markets are mixed. It's a little crazy out there. Check it out. So S&P 500 up 20 points to 6,501. Dow is up 52 points to 45,453. The NASDAQ is up 154 to 21,854. I think the big news is, though, all-time high right now. Gold sitting at $3,680 per troy ounce. Yeah, wow is right. Looks like silver. Give me just a second. They've changed it, and I got to flip through some other crap to get to silver. Sitting at $42.07 an ounce. Another all-time high. Looking at the crypto market, up 1% is Bitcoin to 112,568. Ethereum 4,367. That's up 1.6%. XRP up 3% to $2.99. Although that's not the stake levels we need it to be, but Suey.
Oh, there's a
is
steak
up-
coming either way. It's just a question of who's going to buy it.
Well, not me. Suey is up 2% to $3.50, and Stellar Lumens XLM is up 4% to 38 cents. So lots of movement in the market. I think it's in anticipation of potentially too late Jerome Powell maybe getting on board the Trump train. We'll see. Looking at today's deltas, there were 6 of them. I will paraphrase one of them because it's long, but it says there was a time when our children stood at attention and put their hand on their heart, and in one united voice recited the Pledge of Allegiance. There was a time when strength and honor meant something. There was a time when standing for our flag meant something. There was a time when our history heritage was taught with pride and respect. There was a time when respect was given to those who served, bled, and died to protect and defend our God-given freedom. It continues on with quite a few things. There was a time, but at the end it says, "May God bless America and those who defend and protect her against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We stand together as patriots. Where one we go all home with the brave." The other one quite simply says, "We're kicking digital ass here." And then this one that says, "They are being forced into the light for all to see. Keep faith in humanity. Keep faith in yourself. Light of the world."
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. So I just got a text from Loy saying that he's at your account. I'm at your account now. How do I click on the live? So I just gave him some instructions. Let's see if he figures that out. If not, we'll walk you through it, Loy, if you're hearing us right now. In the meantime,
and if need be, I can call him Sam, so you can keep the show.
Okay. Dave, why don't you go ahead and give us a farming and agriculture report?
Yeah, pretty quiet on the news on this Monday. Corn is down 1 to 2. Soybeans down 1 to 2 also, and wheat is up 2. Cattle is up 0.3%, and hogs are down 0.5%. Interesting stuff going on with the USDA. Still running into turmoil with those 5 locations on separating out of DC. Obviously, throwing lawsuits and stuff at them. So see how that plays out.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. All right. Let's see here. Let's just say some more good mornings here. Sarah Catherine is here. Kingsgirl 1974. Charlie Benji 1959. Layson Steele is here. Golfing Dad of 3. Dobermob 79 is here. Pure Blood Holly Johns. Puppy Love. Boy, the whole gang's piling in. Love to see it. All right, James, what do you got for us on the military report today?
Well, it's going to be probably not as long as you had hoped, but I think today we probably have a sense of urgency to get through it. So for the Coast Guard today, we have no SAR report. If people want to know what SAR stands for, it's search and rescue. Although there is a search going on for 5 people for a capsized boat in Alaska that happened on Friday. The United States military is just showcasing the power in the Indo-Pacific region. Although we probably will be going into Venezuela, but I'm going to save that for later in the report if we get to it. As for the buildup in Chicago, we see the resistance by the mayor and governor saying there's no problems and help is not needed. And this weekend, 7 were killed and 12 were wounded. Baltimore and New Orleans, you are now on notice.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, James. Yeah, it's going to get a little dicey. And one of the well, I'll talk about that tomorrow, but there's an upcoming Delta that's basically saying buckle up. And I think it's probably very accurate. Yes, Alex?
Loy is waiting to come up when we're ready, sir. He made it. So just so you know.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see here. Pam Gang Channel 1 is here on YouTube. Kathleen Patchke on Facebook. Tax 17 on YouTube. And Serge Hidalgo on YouTube as well. Okay, so you know what? Let's just go right to it. We're going to have a little bit of an altered format today. We're going to get right to Loy Brunson so that we can jump right in with him. But Alex, if you would, bring help. There we go.
And you want me out, right?
Yeah, and then come right back in. Good morning, Loy.
Hey, good morning. Can you see me?
You're going to have to turn on your camera.
So if
I
you
know
click-
this is my first TikTok experience.
That's okay. We'll walk
Gotta
you
put
through
some
it.
glasses on. Where's the camera icon?
I'll send you an invite to
you
turn
click-
on your camera. I just did.
Okay, there we go. Oh boy, I can see a lot better with these on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh wow. There we go.
Coming on.
Once you click on the camera, you have to click save, and it will turn your camera on. So I'll send you one more
Oh,
invite.
there he is.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey, Loy,
Got
you
it.
made it.
Now I'm an expert on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're certainly getting there, that's for sure. Well, welcome, Loy. We are so excited to hear an update, to hear what's going on, and to have you on the show.
Sure, great. Thanks
Okay.
for having me on.
Of course. So let's, if you would you give everyone at home a brief summation of who you are, what you've been doing over the last several years before we get to the updates?
Sure, absolutely. The 2020 election, the joint session of Congress where they were about to open up the envelopes that had the electoral votes, and Ted Cruz was there, supported by 145 other members of Congress, encouraging the rest of the House and the Senate to pause for a simple 10-day investigation. It wouldn't have interrupted anything. They had a mountain of evidence, and they had so much proof that we had been attacked. And President Trump retruthed an article about this case and took words from the complaint saying you could consider this could be considered an act of war. We had been attacked either by foreign or domestic enemies into our very sensitive voting system. And so because only 145 members supported Ted Cruz and the others did not, my two brothers, my one main brother decided that he needed to figure out a way to bring some legal action against those that really created a security breach. And so he thought about that for a month, and he finally called me on the phone. He told me he had been thinking about calling me about it for about a month. He was so upset and wanted to do something. Now, he had some legal experience. He's not an attorney, but he had some legal experience suing banks because of the subprime mortgage bundling that was happening that caused that big fiasco back then that he felt like he was hurt by. So he said, Loy, I want to sue all the members of Congress that did not support a 10-day pause and investigation. They should have done that, and I'm so bothered by it that I want to sue them. So I've decided that I really want to pursue this. I go, well, that's great. And then he says, and I want you to be the plaintiff.
Nothing like throwing you right into the wood chipper, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, yeah, where's the guillotine? Let me slide my head right in.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go for it. So, immediately I thought, in my mind, I thought, what a great opportunity on several levels. One is America's got to wake up. I have published a book about the Constitution, and I'm trying to get these concepts out there. One is that there's a binding oath requirement in the Constitution. So all those 387 people that did not support a 10-day pause created a huge security breach by not doing that. And they are bound by oath. They're supposed to be bound by oath according to Article 6. The words are very clear. They shall be bound by oath to this Constitution. They were bound to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, the proof that Ted Cruz and others had was obviously a security breach where we had been attacked through our very sensitive system of voting. And we were attacked by either foreign or domestic or both. So they should have paused. So that's why my other brother, we got very concerned about this and decided to pursue legal action. It's like, well, how do you sue members of Congress? What do you do? How do you do that? The system is set up where if we were to go to attorneys, would say, hey, we want to bring an action against them, and a personal damage claim is the way you do it, really. We could only figure out that was the way to do it. And they would have said, well, you have to get permission from the government to sue the government. And it's like, well, that wouldn't work. Really? So it's like, well, let's just go for it. Let's go ahead and file a personal damage claim lawsuit. Now, personal damage claim, we have to ask for damages, right? And so we couldn't figure out real damages.
Yeah,
We thought
how do
we
you
just have to-
quantify damages on something like that?
Yeah, we couldn't. So I didn't ask, as a plaintiff, I did not ask for real damages. I asked for punitive, and so it's got to hurt. So it came to six causes of action, 6 reasons I'm suing, with a relief of $1 million per cause of action. So that would be $6 million per defendant. But then 3 of them, we felt like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and I can't remember, it was Nancy Pelosi or Mike Pence. We thought 6 would be more reasonable. So that, I think that comes out to $2.9 billion total. So I take this to the federal court, and I'm sure because they could have easily said, look, you're in the wrong court and not file it. But the clerk of the court filed it. And it was like, wow, that's fantastic. They filed it. Now this is a long story. I'll try to condense it.
Take your time. Take your time. It's very interesting.
Okay. Well, the federal court, after a while, unfiled it. They actually unfiled it twice. But then on March 31st,
Wait a minute. Is that illegal? Can they do that legally to unfile it?
No,
Okay.
absolutely
I wouldn't
not.
think so.
No. Once the case is filed, it's supposed to be the defendants file a motion saying it's frivolous. It could be a motion to dismiss, and that's the way it's supposed to happen. So anyway, so it was filed, and of course the attorneys are going to file a motion to dismiss, but what happened was, they did unfile it. So it's like, what the heck? Unfiling a case? So we complained to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. I'm the plaintiff complaining to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals saying, hey, the lower court violated my due process rights. The Constitution of the United States and the state constitution protects my due process rights of being able to bring action against any entity and any person in any court. And so with that, it took quite a while to get a response back from the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, and they responded back with, oh, they didn't unfile your case. They're just backlogged. It's like, are you kidding me?
What?
The docket shows unfiled. The 10th Circuit Court of Appeals says it wasn't unfiled. And so we brought action against those 2 courts into state court. Now, when someone interferes with a lawsuit, if you interfere with a lawsuit, which we felt like the 2 courts had done, violated my due process rights, you can be liable for the monetary damages you're asking for. Even sometimes regardless of the merits of the case, the due process rights are so protected, really, and so important. So we thought the only thing we can do is sue both courts in state court, and the monetary damages was $2.9 billion per defendant. So it was a $5.8 billion lawsuit brought against the 2 federal courts in the state court, and they filed it. The state court filed it and docketed it. And so, meanwhile, my brother, Roland, had another case going after mine that was moving along, and the U.S. attorneys in the litigation there talked about my case and admitted that my case had been unfiled by the federal court. So we took that information and we filed a full summary judgment motion in the state court. And so we battled there for a while, and this was an incredible opportunity for a judge to make an amazing decision, because the U.S. attorneys were playing ball in the state court. It's not like they made a phone call and said, unfile this case.
Right.
And I think because of what we had shown in the litigation, that unfiling a case is a violation of my due process rights, my civil rights, that was an issue. So after quite a while of waiting, the attorneys, I remember the U.S. attorneys even asked the state court to please give them an extension if the motion to dismiss the action against the 2 federal courts was decided. And so after quite a while, the state court decided to rule in favor of the U.S. attorney's motion to dismiss, and so they upheld that decision to dismiss. And so we thought we were dead in the water. What are we going to do now? So we were just kind of like paused. It's like we couldn't figure out what to do.
Now at this point, Loy, you were talking about the AGs being some of the obstacles and impediments to you getting to the next level. Is what you're talking about? Them filing
you mean the U.S. attorneys? The U.S. attorneys are the ones defending the defendants.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. attorneys. Right. And so here we are. We feel like we're stuck because the motion to dismiss was granted to dismiss my action against the 2 federal courts for unfiling my case. So at that point, my case was unfiled And I didn't feel like I could do anything about it. I thought, we're finished, we're through, right? But a few weeks later, I got a notice from the federal court that without even asking my permission, without even consulting me if I wanted them to do it, they went ahead and refiled my case. They did what I was suing them to do. They went ahead and did it. And the judge of the court, who happened to be the Chief Justice of the Federal Court of Utah, the U.S. Utah District Court, went ahead and ordered the chief clerk of the court to issue the 387 summonses, which she had finished within 48 hours. And the U.S. attorneys quickly accepted service, and that's what made it to the Supreme Court under their Rule 11, bypassing the 10th Circuit. That's a lot of legalese, and unless you're a lawyer and you've experienced, first of all, not many lawyers have actually argued in front of Supreme Court justices, U.S. Supreme Court justices, and I don't think there are any attorneys that have ever brought a personal damage claim lawsuit against a member of Congress. I don't think that's ever happened.
It's that whole guillotine thing. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's like, yeah, let's see how many enemies I can create with one in the face, brother. Thanks, brother.
Right.
But it's a battle of love, a labor of love, and I love. One of the aspects I love about this is so many people do not realize there's an oath, a binding oath requirement. You have to, Article 6. I'll say it again with the words: "They shall be bound by oath to this Constitution." And then the absolute immunity that they're using to defend themselves. So I'm thinking about the public awareness, the education. President John F. Kennedy speaking to all the Nobel laureates of the Western Hemisphere in the White House, a special dinner honoring all the Nobel laureates. At the dinner, he said to them, "This is the greatest assembly of talent and knowledge or information ever assembled at the White House, with the possible exception of when Thomas Jefferson dined here alone."
Wow. Wow.
That really happened.
In addition to the oath, Loy, Lee Daniel, who's somewhat of an expert on a lot of this stuff, she said that in addition to the oaths, they're supposed to have insurance bonds as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to get off track here. I haven't finished my little story.
Okay, go ahead.
So the reason I brought Thomas Jefferson is because he gave us the answer. And this sounds so simple. It sounds so easy. That it's so easy to just pass it off and not worry about it. Thomas Jefferson said the only true corrective for constitutional abuse is education. And what's that education? Certain specific clauses, just like the binding oath clause, is a huge step forward in holding our representatives accountable. And so education is so important. That's why I was so excited about this. But getting back to what happened with the appeal to the Supreme Court, I was denied a hearing twice.
On what ground?
Okay, they don't have to say what grounds.
Oh.
So the first time I was denied a hearing, it just said denied. Now the second time, I was denied a hearing without a conference. Whenever you have an appeal to the Supreme Court, they'll say distributed for conference. Well, when I did my second petition for a hearing, in other words, my second appeal for another conference, it just said distributed. The justices were on vacation. It was in August. And so a couple of weeks went by or so, and then on August 18th, 2023, President Trump retruthed my personal video that I posted on Truth Social to him. And I said, President Trump, if there's some way if you can see a way to some way support the letter campaign at LoyBrunson.com, where people would send me the letters to the Supreme Court supporting the lawsuit. And he had already retruthed about the case and used the words on Truth Social. He took those words, this could be considered an act of war. This is an act of war. It could be considered that. He had done that before, and I'm sure he hadn't done that without getting some professional legal advice from his top lawyers to do that. And so on August 18, 2023, he reposted my video. President Donald J. Trump reposted of course he wasn't president at the time, my video, and that was a Friday. The Supreme Court justices are on vacation, right? So the following Monday, the docket shows denied a hearing without a conference, just denied a hearing. And we thought, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And so since that time, we've been brainstorming and trying to think of what to do. But just like a few months ago, a couple of months, after President Trump won and we have a new administration, it occurred to me in a conversation I was having about the U.S. Solicitor General that we're going to get a new U.S. Solicitor General. Now, why is that significant? It's significant because the U.S. Solicitor General takes over as the defense attorney in Supreme Court cases that are against a federal agency or a federal agent, as in this case, members of Congress. So the U.S. attorneys, when it's appealed, the U.S. attorneys are relieved of their duties. It goes to the Supreme Court. Then the U.S. Solicitor General takes over. And that had been a Biden-appointed U.S. Solicitor General. So I'm thinking, we're going to get a Trump-appointed Solicitor General. A U.S. Solicitor General is powerful. He has the power to petition the court to have another conference. He has the power to do that. And so I'm thinking, who's that going to be? Well, he appointed and was confirmed, his appointment was confirmed to be Dean John Sauer. Now that's pretty significant because Mr. Sauer has successfully argued in front of the U.S. Supreme Court justices in behalf of Donald Trump, successfully. So now he's the U.S. Solicitor General. And then I'm thinking, okay, we need a Supreme Court justice replaced. Now, there's so much evidence right now proving the 2020 election was stolen. Really, it was stolen from Donald Trump. And so could this mean that as that progresses, that Katanya Brown Jackson, who was appointed by Biden, could be encouraged to step down, right? Then we'd have 5. Now think about it. It only takes 4 Supreme Court justices to get a conference. But if you know you're going to get killed in a conference, you're going to vote against a hearing. If you know you're going to get killed in a hearing, in the conference, you'll vote against a hearing. So I'm looking at this. I'm thinking there have been so many miracles and so many people have been praying. This on several levels, this case is so important. If we get another justice replaced and this goes to a hearing, I would want to work with the Solicitor General and say, let's give America plenty of time to be aware of this. So I would want a conference set out for at least 3 months, maybe longer, to raise public awareness. And then if we had a hearing, then the awareness factor would be fantastic. So people would then recognize that these guys breached security. They were violating their oath of office. They were not keeping to the standard of a binding oath, and the U.S. attorneys have been defending them with absolute immunity. So the education level that Thomas Jefferson was talking about was so important would be raised. The awareness would be raised. So not only would we have a Supreme Court hearing, but we could have a court of public opinion raising to the same level. So I'm thinking, what is happening? What is going to happen? And I'm hoping and I'm thinking that this, at some point, possibly, it already could be used as information for referrals. Right now, just the way it sits, the information there in the lawsuit and the appeal. But if this were remanded back to federal court, it would be an incredible discovery process, which would weed out all of the impersonators of keeping their oath. It could show and reveal what was really happening with the Congress, which their number one duty was to protect the Constitution, and they utterly failed by not supporting that 10-day pause. So it's not over. This is an incredible opportunity for President Trump and his U.S. Solicitor General, and they have control over it. They have a lot of say, and so I believe at the right time, at the right situation, we're going to see something happening that could be very exciting and exposing the corruption of this. And I think that's part of the educational process. When corruption is exposed, what happens? It gets attacked by those who are supposed to attack it. But if it's hidden, it can be. So so I feel like it's in exactly the place where it needs to be. And people need to become more aware of it.
Well, and like you talked about social awareness, I think it's General Flynn and Boone Cutler said essentially that politics is downstream from social consciousness, from culture. So you talking about getting this out there, and I mean, everybody in this movement knows who you are, Loy, and every one of them are behind you, including myself. And
well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I mean, my goodness, you have taken the sword up. Oh, what happened?
Uh-oh.
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 Did he get... Please don't.
I don't know. Nope, he's there. I see him under viewers. Pulling him back up.
Okay.
You want me to drop out?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what
Right.
happened there, Loy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, but your camera's not on.
I'll send
Okay.
you the request.
Yeah, all of a sudden
it
it
dropped
it just switched. I wanted to tell you.
Loy, quit pushing buttons.
Uh-oh, we lost him again.
I got him. He's coming back.
Okay. No. Hold on, everybody. We're having some technical issues here.
There we go.
No. I wonder
It shows him underneath. It's dropping him back out. Hey, Loy, if you can hear this, close your TikTok app. Just swipe up and over and close the app completely and come back in. TikTok did some updates and it may be a glitch. Okay, he just dropped from the list, so we'll give it just a second.
Wait a second. Okay, yeah. All right.
Wow.
Wow is right. Jeez. Everybody, bear with us. Loy is here. I don't know. Something happened with his feed. We are working on it right now. We're waiting for him to come back in into the live. So
There he is. 1 second.
nope.
It wouldn't be TikTok without technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Dave, your mic's not on. Can't hear you.
Hi.
It's like he's trying to come in and then it just pops him out.
Yeah, I hit the invite button. It goes gray, and then it immediately goes back to red to invite him again.
Yeah.
They don't
there
like
was.
him.
Holy smokes.
Bang.
Can we implement mine?
We might have to.
Yeah, you see him come on and he immediately disappears.
Right. Hey, Lloyd, what we're going to do is Dave is going to send you some login information to our backup account. He's going to send that to you right now, or Alex is, and we are going to bring you on through an alternate account. For some reason, I don't know if maybe you triggered something and they're censoring you or what's going on. But what we're going to do is Dave and Alex are going to send you some login credentials to our backup account. So bear with us a second, look on your text, and then Dave, you're going to have to send him a code, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Rick Sr. said we're being watched. Well, I'm sure we are. I'm sure. Jen Exhod said, Loy, you are greatly appreciated. Isn't that the truth? Brian said he got the talk axe. It may be, but we're gonna work around this, you guys. So bear with us. We're bringing him up. We're attempting to bring him up on a backup account. So hang in there. We're trying to get that worked out as we speak. Are you getting any text from him, Alex?
No. I got one saying that he was in the live.
Let me send him a text. Hold on.
I got it, Sam. No worries.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. So again, we do have Loy Brunson on. I don't know. Apparently, somebody's vacuuming over on YouTube. And
I think it was your construction crew, Sam.
oh, it could be, yeah, because there's stuff going on over here. Not much I can do about it, but let's see if we can send. Oh, did we get him? And oh, there you are,
There
Loy.
he is.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are,
There
Loy.
he is.
Yep,
sir,
we
we
can
can
hear you.
Okay.
Now you just got to turn on your camera. We can hear you.
Okay.
Now you just got to turn on your camera. I just sent you a link to turn it on. I just sent you a link to turn it on.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can hear me, but you can't see me.
Right.
I don't see I don't see the link,
Right.
and I see a camera, but it doesn't show there's a line through it. So,
Try
I don't
clicking
see
it
it.
and then clicking it again and see if that clears it. Try clicking it and then clicking it again and see if that clears it.
Did that do it?
Nope, not yet.
So, Loy,
Does it
if you'll
say-
touch your picture,
Nope, not yet.
it brings it up, and then you click on
touch your
camera, and then
picture.
click save. It brings it up, and then you click on camera, and then click save. The echo is insane.
There we go.
The echo is insane.
There we go. Thank goodness, Loy. I was concerned that they might have censored us, but it doesn't look that way.
I was concerned that they might have censored us.
Yeah, we've got a severe echo going on here.
I hear a lot of voices.
Echo going on.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let's see. Try turning it back on again, Alex. Hold on, Loy. Let's see here.
Loy, down at the bottom of the screen, there's a microphone. Click on that to unmute. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's a microphone. Click on that
Can you
to
hear me?
unmute. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's a microphone.
For
Click on
some reason,
that.
there's some sort of a reverb going on in your account.
Microphone's
For
on.
some reason, there's some sort of a
Microphone's on.
reverb going on.
Why don't we do this,
Why don't
Loy?
we do this?
I'm going to drop you out, come back in again, reboot the TikTok app.
Drop you out.
Oh, okay. Bear with us, everybody. You know, as you all know, a lot of times when TikTok does updates, it really does a number on the live broadcast. So, needless to say, that's probably what's going on.
Really does a number on the live broadcast. So, needless to say, that's probably what's going on here.
Sadly. Sadly.
Loy, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Loy, are you there?
Yes. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? There we go.
We've still got a severe reverb going on.
We've still got a severe reverb going on here.
Hmm.
Hold on a second. Did you try turning on your camera?
Are you talking
Hold
to
on a
me?
second. Did you try turning on your camera?
Yeah, my camera is. Oh, I'll save. Did that do it?
Okay, so we're having a severe reverb. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you up.
Okay, so we're
And
having a severe
you're going
reverb. What I'm
to talk,
gonna do is I'm
and
gonna
everybody
pull
else is
you
going
up.
to be quiet.
So we're having a
And
severe
then when
going.
it's time for somebody else to talk, I'll mute you so that the echo goes away.
When it's time for somebody else to talk, I'll mute you so that the echo goes away. When it's time for somebody else to talk, I'll mute you so that the echo goes away. When it's time for somebody else to talk, I'll mute you so that the echo goes away.
Wow, it's just going on and on, Alex. This is crazy. So every time we mute Loy, it seems like it goes away.
It is Loy that's echoing. I don't know why. Short of you actually completely closing the app. So swipe up and close all the apps on your phone. On your iPhone, you go up and to the left and it shows all the windows. Just swipe up and close all the windows and then come back into TikTok.
Okay. All right, everybody. Hold on, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We don't know what is going on. It was fine in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, it just went haywire. So let's see here. People are blaming it on Russia in the chat. Exactly. Oh, my gosh. It's another Russia hoax. Alex, do you think we should try doing the backup account?
Yeah, that'll take more time, especially with good job, Allie. Every time we do that, it's going to take an exorbitant amount of time, and the code has to be sent to Dave, and then we have to log him in. And with everything we went through to get him on the account we're on right now, I don't want him to log out of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to call Loy real quick. I'll be right.
Okay. Bear with us, everybody. Loy Brunson is here, but for some reason we're having some sort of a reverb situation where whenever he speaks, it's getting repeated over and over again. So bear with us.
When everybody speaks, Sam, I heard you say the same statement 7 times.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you understood it, James. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, if they screw with the thing that bad, just from what he said, just wait till the questions I ask him.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, let's do a sponsor break while we're waiting for Loy. So, mypillow.com. Mike Lindell has sponsored me from the beginning. Go to mypillow.com, use the discount code SAM, and you'll get up to 80% off of all of your purchases. Neil Naturopathic. If you're looking to get rid of dandruff, grow your hair, and do it without any chemicals or preservatives, go to neilnaturopathic.com. Use the discount code SAM20, that's SAM20, and you'll get a 20% off of your order. And Dr. Peter Glidden, if you go to my website, samshalhoub.com, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner that says Dr. Glidden. If you have kids or grandkids and you have any question about any type of health and wellness, if you go to Dr. Glidden's website, use the code SAM, you get a 30% discount on his already discounted membership. Give him a try. It's well worth your time and your money. All right, let's see here. Boy, we have got, let's see. So we are, just to bring everybody up to speed, Loy Brunson is with us. We have been talking to him for the last 40 minutes or so, half an hour. And for some reason, he's experiencing some sort of technical issue on TikTok. So unfortunately, when that happens on TikTok, it happens on all the other platforms, YouTube, X, Facebook, and Rumble. So we're trying to get him back. Alex is offline with him right now, trying to get it figured out. So Brian said Loy must behave and use friendly words. Well, I don't know how successful we would be at that. I mean, the man is speaking truth. And I don't think it is a censorship issue with TikTok, because if it was, like James has demonstrated multiple times on the show, if it was a TikTok issue, they would have immediately suspended him, but they did not. So I don't know.
2 times, boss. 2 times.
2 times, exactly. And you are prolific at it, James. But let's not do it again today. Okay.
Yeah, that's a record. That's a record you can keep.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So again, everybody, we are working on bringing Loy back on the show. Is Mr. Brunson going to dance too? I don't know if we're going to get to dancing today, everybody, because I really want to focus on what Loy has to say. I think it's extremely important, and I think all of us need to be as well read on the subject as we can be. D said the third time will be the charm. Well, I sure hope so. But again, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Hey, Lisa Sutton that's Lisa Maria over on YouTube.
Hey, Sam, is it the third time to try to get Lloyd back up, or James off?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's a twofer. Maybe we're going to get 2 for 1. I don't know. No, James, no props, no pictures.
Roger that.
So again, we will have to. We're working on getting Loy back on. He was on for the last 30, 40 minutes, and now he has run into some sort of technical issue with TikTok. Alex is offline with him right now, trying to get him back on, and it's Lee, I think I can make you a mod over there. Let me see if I can.
And
yeah.
Sam, if it's a longer state, we can also go into the F-35s in Puerto Rico, or
okay.
We can talk a little bit of that too, because I know James has got a list of stuff to talk about, I'm sure.
Okay, so why don't we do that? Let's see. Let's go with the first one. Is the U.S. has ordered 10 F-35 fighter jets to be deployed to Puerto Rico as part of its drug cartel fight. James, what do you got on that?
This is in response to 2 Venezuelan F-16s that decided they wanted to buzz a Navy ship. Sounds like 10 of them did depart yesterday or early as Friday night. They will be conducting drills in the Caribbean. Yeah, drills for sure. Actually, what they're going to do is they're going to be probably going inland in Venezuela and taking out some of those cartels, some of the known areas that they thrive in. President Trump's already said that that these are groups of terrorists, and we aren't going to respond lightly to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's almost laughable that Venezuela or Puerto Rico or any of these other countries think that they can rattle their saber at us. Not going to happen. Or they can do it all they want, but it doesn't mean much.
Right.
All right. Dave, any comment on that?
It's amazing how fast Venezuela came onto the map in the sense of, when they talk about cartel and stopping that issue, you thought Mexico or you thought Central America, and Venezuela obviously was Central America, but it's really highlighted. And apparently since Venezuela fell, the government, they became very corrupt, and it's a very good transfer point for multiple issues of Coca-Cola and stuff like that. So
right.
Bringing it to light for sure. We'll see what happens.
Okay, just brought Alex back up. I didn't see that till just now.
Just got here.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Alex. Sorry, I didn't see it because there's a bunch of people that have requested to come up, and I didn't notice that you were there.
Yep, no worries. I got all of his apps closed. Give him just a second. He's going to fire TikTok back up.
Okay.
And then he will be right back. So I think we're cooking with gas.
Okay, cool. Let's see
here. Go to guests, and there he is. I'm inviting him back up. And TikTok gods, be nice to us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope for the best here, everybody.
We're already better. All right, I'm sending you a request to turn on your camera, Loy. The echo is gone. We're good.
Great. Nice work, guys.
All right, there we go. Welcome back, Loy. Oh, this camera's not on yet. Hold on one second.
And
you got to turn on your camera.
Okay, just a second here. Okay.
So there you go.
There we go. All right, great.
Well, I had something pretty exciting happen last week. I'll tell you about. Okay, so a few years ago I hired an attorney so that I could trademark every home in America, and it took a while. It took a long time. Finally, I have the trademark every home in America. And why? Because, like Thomas Jefferson said, education is the only true corrective. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this lawsuit is insert my concepts, which include a binding oath requirement into it. And so I have a coffee table size book. It has gold foil on the front and back.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And you've seen this. And so Patrick, quite a while ago, Patrick Byrne called me and said, "What can I do to help?" And I says, "Well, I'd like to meet Tucker Carlson."
Oh.
So he says, "Hang up the phone and just watch." And so that led to some conversations with Tucker Carlson. And last week, after I sent him these pictures, he said that we're going to get together in September.
Wow.
And so to talk about, the message I sent to him was, this is the only publication of the Constitution, or the only publication really that proves that the Constitution not only does not support socialism, but it actually prohibits it clearly. And I said it should be in every home in America. And he responded immediately back with just one word: "Amen."
Wow.
And then I said, "Well, sir, when could we get together?" And so he said, he's out. This was August, and then he says, "I'm out of the country until September." So last week is when he told me that we could get together this month. So his schedule was on a three-way with me, working a few dates out to see which would be best.
Now, do you have to go to physically where he is, or will it be all telephone?
That's what I'm going to do. Yes, he said. I'm going to go, and I'm not going to say exactly where. Maybe that wouldn't probably be a good idea to say where, but he told me where. And so, and people can go to TrumpConstitution.com if they want to get a copy of this. TrumpConstitution.com takes you to 7discoveries.com, where you can get a copy of the complaint. I have copies now. I think I have about 100 or so, maybe a few hundred, of the summons and complaint of Kamala Harris.
Oh.
And you can get that at the TrumpConstitution.com that goes to 7discoveries.com. It's perfect bound, so you might want to frame it. And
wow,
and
I love it.
I also have the appeal available. These are educational materials. I also have plenty of these at my website, and there's a phone number there too that you can text and leave a message if you want to, get several and you have a budget you need to work with, because I'd like to get it out there. And also, I have the presidential. I have the presidential edition of the same thing that doesn't have, instead of President Trump's picture, has mine.
Nice.
And I wanted to get these out so people can get 40 of these with free priority mail shipping for $1.50 each.
Wow, that's a deal.
That's $60. So, and I can do that until they run out. And I think I have about 50,000 of those.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, we've had several people put it in the chat. Alex or James or Dave, would you guys put that in the chat as well, his website address? Now, Loy, I've been kind of hogging the mic here, so I want to go to Alex and see what questions he might have for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
That's okay.
Well, through conversations, Loy, what I think is one of the most fantastic things about you and your brothers is that you're not attorneys. And that is a message to everybody in America that just because you're not in the bar association and a legalese speaker, you absolutely have the right and the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. And like Flynn says, local action brings national impact. And so first of all, kudos to you and your brothers. I have so graciously from you received my copies of the books and the pocket constitutions. And in conversations with a local teacher here, he actually teaches the Constitution to his class every year and gives them a pocket constitution as a part of what he's doing. And I think you're 100% right. That needs to be conveyed across this country and brought back into the spotlight, right? So what do you see each American's ability to make some changes? What recommendation would you have for those of us that want to, maybe take a stand if it's locally and start making some changes or get our voices out there? What is your first step?
I think there's some real easy first steps, and that is get this coffee table book and put it on your table, because right on the cover it says how and why promoting socialism is unconstitutional. And so, see, in these books, I'm highlighting the power clauses that takes 5 minutes to become familiar with, and I've experimented on one of them with members of Congress and the U.S. Senate. And real simply, you could say in the next town meeting, Article 6 of the Constitution states that you shall be bound by oath to this Constitution. So what is the penalty for violating your oath to defend the Constitution? And then just zip it and listen. And I've done that a couple of times, and it's magical what happens. I've done it on camera with Senator Hatch and Senator Lee. And they start thinking, and it's almost like they realize the first answer they usually say, these guys did, is, oh, you lose the election. And it's like, well, that's not a very good answer, right? And so they keep thinking, and then they realize that we don't have a binding oath that's being followed. We're taking an oath without it being binding. So maybe another question would be, would you be comfortable with your oath you follow with what we have to sign when we send something back to the IRS, and that is under penalties of perjury, you take this oath to defend the Constitution.
I want to add, it's very easy for us Americans, for everybody. You can go down to the clerk's office and file a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, and you can find out whether or not there is a signed oath on record. And if there's not, then they're just pretending.
That's right. Now, the state constitution in Utah states that if they have not subscribed their oath, which means signed their name to it, then they're not officially acting in their office. Now, my father taught me that because he showed me a picture of all the city councilmen in the city he lived in that had, after the fact, subscribed their oath and sent him a picture. So like 6 months or so had gone by where they were not officially acting in their office.
And another thing that begs the question, when you talked about the bar stands for the British Accreditation Registrar, correct?
Yeah, but that gets into scholarly kind of stuff where I don't like to turn people off from all that. I like to keep it simple and basic. Like there's another clause in the Constitution. No one's ever heard of this before. That requires a specific way to interpret the Constitution. Imagine that there's a clause in the Constitution that shows how the Constitution can and only should be interpreted. And you see, the first 10 amendments, and I go into this in this book, the first 10 amendments were never defined as the Bill of Rights. Never. That's a nickname. they were defined by the first Congress as further declaratory and restrictive clauses to the Constitution. The other amendments weren't defined that way, but the first 10 were. Okay. Now, the Ninth Amendment, I claim, is the interpretation clause that demands strict interpretation. It states, in my mind, and if you read it, that the only way you can constitutionally and legally and lawfully interpret the Constitution is if it is in a way that protects our unalienable rights. Otherwise, our rights are not unalienable. If you can interpret the Constitution in a way that takes away our unalienable rights. So it makes so much sense to me. And it's the Ninth Amendment, one of those declaratory restrictive clauses, and it goes like this. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. No construing, no interpreting the Constitution in favor of federal government, no matter what the excuse is, at the expense of the unalienable rights of we, the people.
Interesting.
So that's another one of the discoveries. In this book, you've got questions and answers. That in and of itself is an education that puts you light years ahead of everyone on Capitol Hill. And it also has the 10 Commandments in it. I put that in there for my Nancy Pelosi. She's Catholic, so she believes in the 10 Commandments. And then also the congressional oath is a little different than the executive oath. So Article 2 has the executive oath, but on the front of the book inside, it has the congressional oath. So this is the greatest pocket constitution ever. I would say if you have another pocket constitution, put that in a safe place, permanently lock it up, and use this, because this is not just the Constitution, it's the full Constitution with the amendments, Declaration of Independence, but it's got resource material here that puts you right to these power clauses that you can use to learn from and that you can hold your representative's feet to the fire with.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's move over to Dave. Dave, what questions do you have for Loy?
Loy, first I'd like to thank you and your brothers for putting an effort for our freedoms and our Constitution, for my kids and my future grandkids, for sure, because it's very important, because we're forgetting what our laws and what our freedoms are there for, you know. Do you think your lawsuits will come back in brought forth here on timing, on what's coming up and what Donald Trump's doing? Do you think they'll be brought back up?
Absolutely, because President Trump has a great relationship with Dean John Sauer, who is the U.S. Solicitor General, and the Solicitor General is considered as important as like being the 10th Supreme Court Justice. Now, he has a lot of power, and he is going into the 2020. He has more than enough evidence to prove clearly. You notice throughout the years, he'll say something and he knows something is true, and then we find out, boy, not only is it true, it can be substantiated very clearly. And so it absolutely can be used in several different ways. Right now, it can be used as a reference material to see which members of Congress did what, and to see specifically what they were guilty of in not pausing for 10 days. And then also it could be remanded back to federal court, and I, the plaintiff, have the power to remove defendants as I negotiate them with counsel from Mr. Sauer as to which defendants to remove in exchange for cooperation and help. And I would want a congressional committee to be put together too, to go into discovery. So even if they're found guilty, we don't know what the judges would do as far as relief. They could do lots of things. They could just slap their hands. They could do, who knows what they could do. But at least it would uncover a mountain of evidence through discovery, which could include depositions, documents, emails, text messages having to do with why. Was there some kind of talk and a plan in place to push back against the 10-day investigation? What was going on with that? And so that could be a tremendous tool to expose information and evidence that can be referred to the Department of Justice. And so in the end, we would see if there was any criminal conspiracy or non-conspiracy activity that resulted in them choosing not to defend the Constitution in a time that could be considered an act of war. And there's a term out there, fraud breaches everything. Well, let me tell you, treason and act of war breaches everything too. Now, when Amy Coney Barrett was asked in a Senate hearing what the 5 protections were in the First Amendment to educate the world, a senator asked her to just go ahead and share the 5 protections. She remembered assembly, religion, speech, and so she remembered 4, but she couldn't remember the protected right to petition the government for redress of grievances. So how can we, the people, petition the government for redress of grievances? So my brothers and I felt like this was the only and best way we could act in a way to petition the government for redress of grievances, and failing down at their most important described job description that they have in their oath, and that is to defend the Constitution, which is the United States of America, against infiltration or attacks on our voting system. And so that's what we did. And it's there, and it can be used on many different levels for many different things. So
yeah.
Now,
With you saying that, it's amazing how highlighting January 6th chaos may have smoothed those edges a little bit and focused more on the chaos than
right.
what they did that day, and purposely probably done it.
Right. And emails and text messages and phone calls could bear witness to the fact that there was some purpose behind thwarting that 10-day investigation.
Well, and Loy, here's a question I'd like to get your opinion on. It's been my contention that President Trump legally could have stayed in office in 2020. But had he done that, would we have seen a civil war type scenario because of it? And is it possible that the timing has been pushed off to get the population, which is upstream from politics, up on the same page?
I think that's a really important point. America has to wake up. The problem is not with our government. The problem is America has been, Article 1, Section 8 gave the Congress the power and really the obligation to educate us in the Constitution. A lot of people don't realize that. It's another one of my discoveries. And I'm not the only one that's discovered it. There are other people that have written about this. Article 1, Section 8, the militia clause. What is the militia? What is disciplining the militia? The purpose for disciplining the militia in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, is to enforce the laws of the Union. And what is the laws of the Union? It's the Constitution of the United States. So to execute the laws of the Union is the Constitution of the United States. So Article 1, Section 8 gives the Congress the power to raise money to teach us the Constitution, train us in the Constitution. It even says arm. And who can join the militia should be every able-bodied citizen that wants to, and it would be mostly an education militia. So they failed at the get-go. Why did they fail? Is because all of the members of Congress were being funded, heavily funded, by the enemies, by the people that wanted to take over the government. This battle has been going on for a long time. We won the Revolutionary War, but the battle is still raging.
Right, exactly. Okay, James, what do you have for Loy?
Loy, I just wanted to say I appreciate what you and your brothers do. As America watched your endless fight, it was something to watch. I appreciate it. Loy, under 22-380 for your security breach, when you went after Biden, Harris, Pence, and 385 members of Congress, do you think that you may have been more successful going after one to set the precedent versus that monumental number? 388 people is an awful big task, and I know that the government probably feared failure if you were to achieve that. Don't you think that going after somebody like Pence just to set the precedent, and once that victory was underhand, to go full bore for the rest of them?
Well, again, it's about exposure and revealing, what the complaint was. Now, 22-380 is my brother's lawsuit. Mine is 22-1028, and they're pretty similar, only mine was filed under Rule 11, allowing me to bypass the 10th Circuit. My brother Rollin actually got permission from the clerk of the court to do a Rule 11, but then the federal court hurried up and made a decision, so we didn't need to bypass the court. So it was on the fast track without the Rule 11. So, but it's about holding people accountable. And if we had just gone after one or two, then I don't think it would have had the impact, and does not have the impact that this have. And as I mentioned before, defendants can be removed. As the plaintiff, as this is remanded back to the federal court, maybe the judge could suggest, or the Solicitor General could suggest, that I narrow it down to a few. But as being the plaintiff, I can release every one of them except 3 or 4 if I wanted to as defendants. So if this were remanded back to federal court, then there would be a tremendous amount of lawyering up, because I think once it passes the motion to dismiss stage and they lose, then I don't think the U.S. attorneys would handle it anymore. I think they would have to find attorneys. Now, this is interesting because one of the causes of action is civil conspiracy. When you bring a civil conspiracy action against a group of people, they all have to get separate attorneys or law firms, and then there has to be clearance that takes place where they can't have any association in the past with any of the other defendants. So this would be a very interesting situation. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the very minimal, this is a record at the Supreme Court with two appeals to the Supreme Court showing and testifying and witnessing that 387, I've been saying 388, I was wrong on it, 387 defendants literally participated in a huge security breach. And look at the destruction of life and property that has happened because they didn't investigate. So it's so important on several different levels. And no, I don't have any regrets at all of trying to figure out which could have been more effective. I felt we were prayerful about it, and so many things were happening. And to be able to walk into a federal court and they dock it and allow to move forward after they had unfiled it a couple of times, a personal damage claim against 387 federal officials that included a president, vice president, 385 other members of Congress, and Mike Pence is a pretty. I'm excited about the way we did it. In other words,
that's really just Loy. That's just unbelievable. And I appreciate your vigor. I mean, you're going after him full tilt boogie, and I like that. The one other thing that goes with this question is: do you think that the United States Supreme Court refused to hear your case simply because they already knew that the election was stolen and we were under martial law?
I have no idea. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know who President Trump consulted with to retruth twice about the case. I mean, he's putting himself out there too. And another thing is there were a couple of lawsuits filed that actually they were asking for Trump to be put in office. And that's the direction my legalese brother wanted to go. And it's a good thing my other brother, Rollin, got with us and corrected that, because if we'd gone the direction that Giuliani and some others went, I would have probably been put in jail for trying to use the federal court system to overturn an election. So my brother was great with the legalese, and he was great, but the three of us worked hard together every day for hours to get this right, and just thank the Lord for my brother Rollin correcting that course, because if we'd stayed on that course, see, my brother Darren wanted President Trump in. We all did. But my brother Rollins says, look, we cannot make it about Trump. We've got to make it about a security breach. And then if there is a breach, and then Trump could do it. But it should be about the security breach, regardless of who the winner was.
Alex, what do you want to say?
Well, just another quick follow-up question, because there are a lot of people that are familiar and not familiar. Are there one or two things that obviously you have a massive media following, well known for what you're doing? What conspiracies or falsehoods could you now take an opportunity to dispel for people? Like, there's rumors that an NDA, and there's rumors about this and that. So just an opportunity for you to dispel any misinformation about what you're doing.
Well, unfortunately, and that's the way the world works, is you're going to have disinformation, and you're going to have people take advantage of an opportunity to make stuff up and claim that they heard me say something, or that something's a certain way. No, I've never been asked to sign an NDA, and I don't have any information that would suggest that anything has been executed behind closed doors, even though they have the power to do that. But even if they had, I don't think anyone would have any knowledge or any purview to that. But I'm still thinking, if people just think about it, we don't have 5 justices. You need a majority of the justices to really make a decision here. And we only have possibly 4. But then again, I think there's divine intervention. I mean, I felt that we've had so many miracles happen. My whole life has led up to this. And so there is a plan in place, and it's someone is directing this and helping that has far more wisdom than anyone on earth. And I think President Trump has been inspired, and he's done the right things at the right times. And he's guided. There's so many people that are praying for the right things to happen. I think it's possible that things could get cleaned up and get so good that people will start losing their faith in God because things are so good.
Well, and Loy, not if, but when 2020 is exposed, we are essentially in a constitutional crisis at that point. because it's never happened before. So, do you think that there is a connection between the legislation in the House talking about if 100 Congress people overnight cannot execute their duties the next day? There's some legislation in place, so we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We can speculate all day, but the fact that they brought that legislation out at this point in time, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's very suspicious in a positive way, right? And so there are smooth tracks to follow. What I would like to see happen, and I think is probably one of the most important aspects of this whole thing, is the executive appointments with the Federal Communication Commission. They need to be replaced with ones that are going to keep their oath, because they've taken an oath as well. And once that happens, I think we could see the mainstream news media shift into a position, and they've already started to in some ways. You notice there's a newscaster on CNN that's actually showing how horribly the Democrats are doing, right? So I think it's very possible that we could start seeing a shift in the news. And when we see a shift in the mainstream news, there are a lot of good people, and they don't have time to watch the news for more than a half hour a day. They're working 2 jobs, supporting wife and kids. The wife is working too. So I think we could see a shift in the propaganda machine. Now, every military of every country, a lot of people have a PSYOPs division. And what that means is their mainstream media, or their ability, or the division to spend money, raise money to promote propaganda. And that's what's been happening with mainstream media. So once the Federal Communication Commission directors are replaced with true constitutionally bound oath-taking directors, then I think we could see a shift in the media, which would help tremendously with preventing the chaos that could cause a serious disruption. But I think as things get better, people are going to realize, hey, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Well, and I think you're talking about 2 things in particular: Operation Mockingbird, number 1, and number 2, the Smith-Mundt Act, the propagandization of the populace. And once those things are ferreted out, and I think you're right, we are seeing a shift, and it is a cruise ship that has changed course, but it takes miles for that ship to change that course. So I think, as I've said many times on this show, you cannot take a frog and drop him into a pot of boiling water. He's either going to die or jump out. So we are in the process of bringing up that social awareness. And Loy, you have been absolutely instrumental in that. Instrumental.
Thank you.
Yes, of
Thank you. I
course.
appreciate that. And that's so important, because we as individuals are the country. We are the United States. And every individual is extremely valuable. Like it's, like the Declaration says, we are born with equal rights protected. We're not all born the same, but we're certainly born with the protection that's supposed to be given to, or with rights that's supposed to be protected by our government.
Right, 100%. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. We've been well over an hour already. Alex, James, Dave, any other questions for Loy before we move on?
Well, over on YouTube, I just wanted to add, Russell Webster said, if Loy pulls this off, he might be the 2028 presidential candidate.
Yay! Loy 2028. There we go.
Final,
I'd love to be a cabinet member and advisor, but I would not want to be president.
final comments for you, Loy, as I've gotten to know you over the last couple of weeks and understand who you are as a person and communicating with you. Brother, I am so grateful to have made your acquaintance, have had the opportunity. Thank you so much for sending the Constitution out. And if there's anything that I can do to help, certainly don't hesitate to reach out, because you are the genuine thing. And I appreciate you so much taking time to come on the show and share with us, and educating our youth and turning around the socialist communist agenda has to be priority number 1 for every red-blooded American right now. Thank you so much.
100%.
Well, thank
Dave.
you, Alex. You've been a big help to me, bigger than you realize. So
As
thank
he
you.
has been to me as well, Loy.
Yeah.
Dave, final thoughts for Loy?
I was just going to say, everything you've done for us, it's just amazing with the future. And for my kids and grandkids, it means a lot, for sure. And you're welcome back anytime. I could probably say that for all of us.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
anything we could do, anything we could help you, we're here for you.
Exactly.
Great.
James?
Let's do it.
Loy, one of the questions that probably all of us want to know is, when you wake up in the morning, as far as you've taken this case and getting up every day, having breakfast, pulling on your pants and going into the fight, What is it that exactly drives you to do that?
Well, it's like you. I look forward to this speaking. I love sharing these things with people. It just invigorates me. I can't get tired of it. It's when there's some lulls in it that I could get bogged down where I have to do the household stuff and catch up and stuff like that. So, but it's yeah, that's what keeps me going is being able to share with people and get the book out to people, and people order the books, and it's always exciting. I'm the one that opens up the Shopify account, the 7discoveries.com, the TrumpConstitution.com, and look at those orders, and I always try to make sure there's extra put in each order there, because it's so exciting to see people are resonating with the message and getting the book and the books, and it's really an exciting opportunity for me every time I'm interacting like that.
Well, Loy,
I got one, but I want one of those copies too.
Loy,
Just send me shipping information.
Loy, there are so many comments in the chat on TikTok, on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, and all of them are thanking you from the center of their hearts for the energy, the direction, for the resolution of the character trait that you have to push through this. And I want to echo those sentiments. And there's quite a few in there saying that they would vote for you in 2028 if you decide to run for president. But that aside, I just want to say thank you from the center of my heart. And I'm sure from everybody that's watching you right now and that will watch the replays, keep up the good work, brother. We are with you in spirit, and we are with you here physically. If you need it, just let us know.
Well, thank you. This is one of the best interviews ever that I can remember. So thank you. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. We'll do it again. And everybody at home, thank you for being here with us. As Loy said, we're going to bring him back on again in the near future. And in the meantime, everybody, just remember that the best is yet to come. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Loy, thanks so much. Alex, James, Dave, see you all tomorrow.
Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you.